What's up? It's Yusuf from the 69 Eyes and you're watching Rock and Shock. Mwah.
Hey, what's up, Rock and Shock Nation? Welcome to another edition of the original hard rock, heavy metal, horror, and really whatever we want to talk about program. Remember to visit us on the web at rockandshockshow.com. Again, that's rockandshockshow.com. And if you want to be part of our daily message, now this is a short message. I'm going to share it with you guys through your email every Monday through Friday. That's called Rock and Java. I ask you guys to go to the website and sign up for that. And once again, we're going to hang out each and every Monday through Friday. I'll share some music with you guys and also a comment. It won't be any longer than 15 minutes. So I encourage you to do that today. Now on today's program, we're going to talk about conspiracy theories. Are they conspiracy or are they reality? And on this episode, I'm going to share some of my favorite conspiracies. So then I leave it up to you guys. Are these things real? Or are they just conspiracy theories? Now, before we get started, I want to share The Rock. Now, this is a video from a band called Wire Throne, and this is actually from a friend of the family. His name is Adam Medova. He's also the guitar tech for Cannibal Corpse, but I saw this video today, thought I would share it on the program. I'm hoping to have him on soon as well. Would love to do a segment with him that kind of shows what a guitar tech does when he's on tour. So I have some more information on that as well. All right, guys, here is Wire Throne, and the song is called Blood Feast.
It's falling, the falling, giving way to instinct. It's tearing, it's flowing. The minds lose the final release. Position
And that was Wire Throne with their song Blood Feast. Looking forward to meeting up with those guys. It's so great to see the younger generation keeping the scene alive and staying true to their metal roots. Now, the first conspiracy theory I want to talk about is one that has dominated social media, places like YouTube over the past few years, and it's the whole round earth versus the flat earth. So what is it that you guys believe? There are also Christians that talk about this circular platform covered by a dome, but when you read the Bible has no definitive answer on what the earth truly is. But I have to say that both sides of the argument make a pretty compelling case. So I want to share this video with you guys first.
By the rate of Doppler change that those signals come back, we can actually gauge the speed of that aircraft. Some of the things that I witnessed that were very interesting about radar is that we would be able to track aircraft all the way down to the ground, and I do mean all the way down to the ground at distances of around 100 miles. And now that I know the calculation curvature, 100 miles is 6,666 feet of curvature, of drop. That is literally impossible because radar works at microwave frequencies, 2 to 6 gigahertz or even higher, anywhere in the microwave spectrum, and it is absolutely reliant on it being line of sight, meaning if you can't see it, it don't work. When you take into consideration that we're able to track aircraft from, whatever altitude they're coming in at, all the way down to the ground at a target 100 miles away, and knowing that that target should be 6,000 plus foot below the curvature, that kind of eliminates the ball model.
Well, in air traffic control, they have two different types of radar. There's a short range, but airport-based radar goes out to 60 miles. And then for the long flights and high altitude and off coast, it can go out to, it's en route radar, and it can be 200 miles. So they can detect targets 200 miles away. So in radar, the point is it has to be able to have a direct line to the airplane. So with regards to the shape of the earth, I never thought about it as I worked for 24 years. You didn't say, wait a minute, I think that target is too low for me to see at that distance. Nobody ever even thinks about that. But in reality, now knowing what must be if we live on a ball, the fact is that at even just 180 miles, any airplane below 26,000 feet, if the radar can see it, the earth is not a ball, period. End of story. And does that happen very often? 1,000 times plus a day. 1,000 times plus a day, somebody calls up, somebody comes from offshore. There's a whole class of aircraft that are not pressurized. They can't fly above 11,000 feet. The pilot will pass out. So they operate at and below 10,000 feet, no matter what. And no matter what the weather is, they just can't operate up there. And there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of these airplanes still operating all the time. And so they'd be coming in at 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 feet from like Bermuda or beyond and say 180 miles from Miami. And I said, Roger. And every time they do that, they prove the earth is flat. And they don't know it, but it's absolute undeniable proof. 26,000, and at 200 miles, 29,000. I mean, there's a lot of commercial flights are never at 29,000 coming in from 200 miles out.
So what do you guys think? Did that video provide definitive proof that the earth is truly flat? I really believe we need to be cautious of the videos that we're watching online. People will put out information or they'll twist information that fits with their agendas. Now, my belief is that the earth is round. I believe that there's enough evidence to support that. And also, when I watch this video, I have to say that with all of our technological advancements, I would think that radar accounts for the curvature of the earth. Now, this next conspiracy is a pretty interesting one, especially as we're entering this presidential election season. This is talking about Biden and him being a lot taller than he used to be. And we know that as you get older, you get smaller. But I thought this was a pretty interesting video I wanted to share with you guys.
No, there's something seriously wrong going on here. Okay, so this is Kamala Harris standing next to Benjamin Netanyahu. Netanyahu obviously taller. Just wait. And similarly, this is Biden standing next to Kamala. Okay, Biden's taller. See, both Biden and Benjamin Netanyahu are both 6 feet tall. They're both 6 feet tall. Now, back in 2020, this is 4 years ago, this is Netanyahu and Biden standing next to each other, both 6 feet tall. Okay, now let's go to July 25th, just a few days ago. Remember, both 6 feet. What? What is going on? You cannot tell me both of these people are the same height. Again, 2020, a few days ago. What?
That guy walked very differently than Biden.
Very
we saw
different.
that.
He's a lot taller.
It's on Scott Adams' Twitter. I saw that. I'm like, am I Alex Jonesing today?
No, he's a lot taller.
Yeah.
No, he's physically taller.
Yeah, okay.
And he walks way better. Like, as someone who, like, you watch Biden walk, he had a stiffness. Like, death was coming for him.
And before everyone freaks out, has their mousetraps on their heads go off, I think there should be more presidential body doubles because one president almost got murdered. So if we have ways to keep them safe, let's use them.
Okay, that's a good thing to say. We cover our ass there. And now, and now here's another thing to say. In the interest of national security, like, let's imagine a scenario where Biden is deathly ill and Kamala is not really capable of taking over as president right now. And there is, like, who's next? Speaker of the House. So
Sure.
Nancy Pelosi? No, who's it now?
Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson, right? So that would be him next. So that's a dangerous moment in terms of national security, even though everyone knows that Biden's, really having problems and it's not actually running the show, I could see why they would want to use some body doubles for that.
Of course.
If the guy's in a hospital somewhere. But this guy, let's look at it. Because this guy,
please play it.
He don't walk like him. He's taller than him. It looks like he gained, went back in time 7 or 8 years.
This is the Weekend at Bernie's prequel.
Well, this is master gaslighting and propaganda is what it is. Like, to show you that there's, what was it in 2000 and I forget what year it was, where I believe it was during the Obama administration. Look at the size of this guy.
This isn't the clip I saw.
He's so much bigger. Look how big he is. He's so much bigger than Jill. He's so much bigger. Like, he gained a legitimate 6 inches. Look how tall he looks. Look at it.
Wait, Jamie,
she's wearing heels as well.
Jamie, there's one on Scott Adams' Twitter.
This is from his Twitter.
Oh,
but let's watch.
It's the one he's walking to the helicopter.
Let's watch this again. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, that's another one. That's a similar one too, where you see what one more time. Let's see him walk again. So, look how much bigger he is than Jill.
Holy shit!
He towers over her. He didn't used to tower over her.
I didn't see this clip
like
before.
that.
I saw the other one.
And also, if you look at her, she's wearing high heels. See?
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right.
See her high heels? Okay, and he's towering over her. That is a much taller person.
Yeah, they show a picture.
So maybe they hooked him up with some fucking secret sauce that's going to keep him going and he'll be back. Maybe they have ability to go back, biologically. Take you back a decade or two. Yeah. Giant difference.
Well, hold on. Is that because she could be behind him? So
listen, she also has high heels on, man.
No, but on the left, it could be that she's standing.
No. That's a different human. Look at the size difference of the torso.
Them walking to the helicopter is the one where it looked really.
Go back to that, please. Look at the size differences in the torsos themselves, from the top of his shoulders to where.
Oh, look how many buttons! Yeah, look at the white of the shirt.
Yes, just look at the size difference. Look how much longer that human is on the left. Now, it may be Biden. Listen, they might have some wild shit that brings you back from the dead. But medical science is getting there's some people out there working on some wild stuff.
But do you know?
Maybe they just fucking jolting him up with some Wolverine juice.
So is that Joe Biden a deep fake? There are so many conspiracies out there about clones and technology where people look like someone else. Let me know what you think.
An ex-SpaceX employee starts wiling out and saying space is fake. Someone asked him what the market was for used SpaceX rockets, and he goes, they're all junk. They're comprised of computer-generated images, stage effects. Nothing has ever gone beyond the firmament of Earth. In other words, space is fake. It's all computer-generated. SpaceX is a huge hoax along with NASA. It goes on and on. Just pause and read. Here's the guy's profile. Now, I don't know if it's real or not, but it is funny. And it makes me wonder, like, how many SpaceX or NASA employees are going to come forward as this discussion grows. You know, we've already got NFL players, we've got UFC fighters, and a lot of acclaimed people, popular people, coming forward and saying, the Earth's flat. So I'm wondering, it's just a matter of time before people who were employed by these agencies start figuring things out for themselves, and maybe they start coming forward. Hopefully they have a good insurance policy.
This is one of those conspiracy theories that really takes us down a rabbit hole. You know, there's no such thing as space. We never landed on the moon. It also leads to so many more questions. Now, this next clip is related to the conspiracies around immigration. And I have to say, the things that are being shared on this video, I believe to be true. I really want to hear you guys' thoughts on this, because I believe that the immigration problem is so much bigger than we could ever imagine.
$1 million here, we need 5 million here. And I say, well, do you vet it? He goes, no, we're in emergency mode. So we cut the checks immediately to him. Immediately. And he says, but this is where it gets crazy, JJ. He said, when I cut the checks to the subcontractors, I'm cutting the check to the same payee. I'm sending the same funds to Jewish Family Services, the same account. So you have Jewish Family Services getting $600 million, but you have 50 to 100 subcontractors that I'm paying, but I'm paying to the same bank account as Jewish Family Services. It's all a lie. It's just all a lie. And I said, okay, well, you cut $600 million check. Are you now tracking that to check? And he goes, listen, you have to understand, JJ, nobody's following the money. No one cares. He says, you have to understand the federal government created a chaotic situation on the border. You have millions of people coming to the border. The Border Patrol, DHS, CBP, FEMA, no one has the resources, manpower to move millions of people from the border into America. That's where the NGOs come in. The NGOs are the movement of people and goods into America. That is the evil partnership between the government and the NGOs.
Did he give you a sense, because we have a segment coming up here tonight, we're going to talk about the United Nations and their collaboration on all of this and bringing in military-aged men. Did he give you a sense of why most of these people that you've been seeing, of course, on camera, are military-aged men between the ages of 25, 35 years old? You know, I think people out there think this idea of this like replacement theory that just sounds like a conspiracy theory, or the militarization of the United States, a sort of a United Nations army inside the United States and Europe to carry out plans for lockdowns, whatever it is. You know, did he give you a sense of why they all seem to be the same 25 to 35 year olds and they're all men?
He did, as well as many other investigative journalists that I have contacts with and my sources. They all believe that this is a military-style invasion. Let me just tell you how this looks to us. When you attack a nation, you attack from multiple points of entry. You don't attack, this is not the Middle Ages where I'm attacking the moat and the drawbridge. I'm attacking multiple areas. So once you do that, you attack multiple areas, you make the inroads into America. Now, the United States government, who I believe is the enemy of our people, has already created the pathways, the highways, the routes for the invasion to go into Middle America. So you don't invade a nation and just stay on our borders. You advance. You keep advancing. So when people are talking about the military-age adult males that are pouring into our country, understand that they're anywhere from 50 to 70% of the total illegal population coming into America. We've been sold this lie that it's family units and babies and kids. Yes, there are that. But the single adult military-age men are in the millions, tens of millions in America. You're looking at, you mentioned this perfectly. It's happening in Europe. Nothing happens in the world by happenstance. There's no willy-nilly, well, this is just how it's happened. It just happens that there's tens of millions of illegal military-age adult men.
Now, that's a pretty frightening one to think about. You know, I do believe we're seeing an invasion on our borders, and we have to really ask ourselves, what is this all about? Now, the next one involves Elon Musk once again, and the question is posed, is Elon Musk the Antichrist? I'll let you be the judge of that.
Somebody that has fooled everybody, Elon Musk. He could possibly be the false prophet who presents the mark of the beast to the world and presents the Antichrist on the world stage. I mean, that's how evil I think he is. Why do I think it's Elon Musk? It says in Revelation, the false prophet will deceive with fire from the sky. And so Elon Musk has this fake space program called SpaceX. And let me tell you, he ain't been past the firmament. No man has ever been past the firmament. He has not been in space. He has not put a rocket on Mars. He's not done anything he said he did. He's not a scientist. He's not a propulsion engineer. He don't make electric cars. He pays people to do it for him. He's one of the greatest scammers that humanity's ever seen. Elon Musk is inventing chips that go in people's brains. And I'm telling you, that is the behavior to look for when you're talking about the Antichrist. There's going to be a mark in everybody's head, and there's going to be a mark in it or on their hand, okay? That's what they call the mark of the beast. And I'm telling you, Elon Musk, if he hasn't invented the mark of the beast yet, he is laying the groundwork for the Antichrist to take that mark of the beast. And you type in Neuralink and Greek beta gematria. You get the numerical value of 666.
And the crazy thing about it is he's absolutely right when it comes to breaking it all down and making it a number equivalent. It does come out to 666. And no conspiracy episode on the Rock and Shock show would be complete without one from the world of heavy metal. I remember this one from when I was a kid. It was about Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue. And I remember the guy saying, Nikki Sixx died. He's been replaced. That's not the real Nikki Sixx. Do you guys remember that?
You must get a kick of all these rumors that come out of the artists that you worked with. Is there a ratio that you can give where, the rumors you've heard versus what's actually the truth in your career?
Well, most of that happened around Motley Crue, and I think most of them are false. Especially this latest one, which has some ghostly studio musician coming in and replacing Nicky's bass parts and having him not, or during the time I was with them, there was a rumor that it wasn't really Nikki Sixx, that he had been replaced by this guy. Silly stuff.
The brain processes information electrically. It communicates with the cellular structure electrically, and it operates within a certain band of frequency. If you can broadcast frequencies carrying information, this technology has long been known, carrying information and perceptions within the frequency that the brain decodes information, the brain will decode those frequencies and will have those perceptions. You can externally influence people's perceptions externally by broadcasting these frequencies that we interact with, because we are antenna.
The sad reality is that where we now play our music is in A440. Where did that come from? It used to be 417. A440 came in with the Roman Catholic Church. They suppressed the frequencies. They lost somehow the 152 of the best Gregorian chants, including the hymn to St. John the Baptist, which we've now recovered. That particular hymn was what triggered Dr. Palaio's investigation, looking for those frequencies of vibration by which the music was played. It was known as the most uplifting hymn of all the ages, the most spiritually uplifting hymn. Hymn to St. John the Baptist. It was played to 6 tones. These are those 6 tones. These are those 6 frequencies. And so the A440 is what now is the standard tuning. If you go A439, you're closer to one of the Creator's tones. If you go A441, you're closer to one of the Creator's original tones. That's how precisely it has been manipulated. To do what? To shut down the 95% of your brain, particularly the right brain that operates the heart-mind to the divine human community.
Some decades ago, there was a guy who worked out the frequencies of different emotional states. This is long ago. I mean, it's very, very sophisticated now. So Every thought, every emotional response is a frequency. It generates a frequency, and it is of itself a frequency. Hate is a frequency, and it's different to love. You know, when you are in a room and there's lots of aggression and conflict and hatred, you feel it. What do people say? Oh God, you can cut the atmosphere with a knife in there. That is because the frequencies of hate and conflict have been so generated, they have changed the electromagnetic field of the room.
When you go driving your car and your channel on the radio is tuned to a station and you're grooving to the music, you love that music. As you get farther and farther away from the broadcasting tower, that music gets static. You start to lose the signal from the clear channel, broadcast, and it gets staticky. When it gets staticky, you get a little annoyed. But you want to listen to it. You really have a heart for that music, so you continue to listen to it for another 10, 15 miles, and suddenly it becomes so annoying that you just get disgusted. You go, ah, and you shut it off. And if you continue to listen to it, you get sick. That's what we're talking about here. Except you don't even know that you've been listening to the static your whole life. You don't even know what the true resonant frequency is because it has been kept from you.
Now, of course, to really be effective, we need to use the proper words and phrases, scientifically selected. But that gives you the basic idea. We embed messages just below the threshold of perception, so they can go directly into the subconscious.
They can play across a community these frequencies without anyone knowing, and it starts to have an effect, and it starts to build rage, it starts to build anger, and people might not realize why they're feeling it, but they start to feel it. And then what they do is they trigger that with an event. Maybe some guy is attacked by the police or something, or somebody's arrested for something they didn't commit, and now there's the trigger. The blue touch paper has been lit of this manufactured frequency-driven rage, and you have mass riots and what have you, and people do things that they wouldn't normally do.
So in other words, the master composer, master conductor of the Universal Orchestra is singing love songs in 5/8, uplifting everything simultaneously. And we're the only species out of tune and accepting static for the clear channel.
Do you know that the American military, they've admitted this. They have technology that fires frequencies at the enemy that basically breaks the enemy's spirit, so they give up and put their weapons down. This is the technology we're dealing with.
So I thought I'd leave you with that one. That will give you something to think about. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the Rock and Shock Show. Remember, stay metal, stay horror. I'll see you soon. One more thing, I want to share this today. This is a special product. We're going to be offering more of this type of stuff on our website. This is pretty cool. This is the Universal Monsters Runner. And I have one where I'm going to display all my, my figures, all my horror stuff on it. You can use this for Halloween, or like me, you can use this year-round. It helps to support this program and also our outreach, Lost Sheep Farm. So check that out. If you're interested, you can purchase that on the web. Again, that's rockandshockshow.com, and you'll find that under merch.
This concludes our broadcast day.